What up, everybody? It's Ponter here, and today we've got an actual special game. This is a replay sent to me from Alien or Alien, and this is of an old game. I believe it was played in 2009. Like, it was in the old days, pre cancellation of Wick. And this is a tournament game of some kind. I can't recall the exact tournament name. It's kind of a special one because look at here. There's already post-game coping. I guess this is the second game of so many games. Yeah, it's Clanfest as a tournament, and Clanfest, I guess, had rules where you didn't have to play ESL. And ESL, for anybody wondering, is the main thing is you have to have all 4 roles and then 1 flex role in your team. So you can see this is not an ESL loadout because there's 2 support and 2 armor. There's no inf. And it kind of makes sense on Farmland. They're generally, at least in the old days of clan wars and tournament games, inf was very much underutilized, specifically on this map and a few other maps. You just didn't go inf, or if you were forced to go inf, as ESL typically forces you to, the inf player would do stuff like off-roll mediums and like a medium arty and just kind of play defensive. And you'd really only keep that inf player to do drops, basically, because paradrops are still pretty good on this map, at least until all the forests are burned. So honestly, if I was in this situation where there was no ESL in a 5v5, I would still throw down an inf. But you can get some pretty dirty strategies, and we're going to see exactly that for this round. And now the teams, I think this might be Alien. I don't know. I should have asked him who these people were. Like, I remember the Breakfast Clan. This is probably Shit Happens Esports, and then just they're smurfing as this Breakfast Clan. And this is typical. Like, you would have your main clan that, you know, is sponsored or whatever, that you like sign up to tournaments, but then you play in other games as Smurfs, or you use these kind of Smurf clans to bring in other players, so you have a more diverse. Like, I think I know some of these players. Like, I could recognize them. Compare that to Spearhead, which is just a famous clan, especially in the North American scene. Basically, anybody who was anybody in the North American World in Conflict competitive scene was in Spearhead. Like, AMP, this is not his main team. I believe he played for DC, or he played for a lot of good teams. Like, he was one of the best armor players in the game. And then you have like Strife and like a Smurf of Strife, DJ Airborne. Like, these guys are all very good players. And yeah. And now they're planning, they're kind of planning the strategy out while I'm talking. I think this is another interesting thing. A lot of clan wars were determined based on the time of wins and the Dom bar, because the maps were asymmetric. Like, a lot of people say that USSR is harder than USA on this map. So, for instance, if you play a best 2 out of 3 on Farmland, you wouldn't just say, okay, who won the game. You would say, okay, let's add up the Dom bar for all 3 games or all 2 games, and then see who won those games fastest, just to kind of make things a little more fair if you believe that the maps were asymmetric. And now let's talk about the strategy. So we're looking at Breakfast. They're on USSR side, and look at what they're doing. They have armor and support spawning over here, and then they have an armor and support spawning over here, and then they're with their air. And this is a bold move. I would not do this. This is like a noob move. You know, noobs always like love spawning over here and charging the airstrip. Yeah, this is the airstrip. Typically, if you're going to do a flanking maneuver on this map, you push the crop refinery or whatever, the North Farm, because it's just easier to attack it. I feel it's kind of closer to your spawns, and also you can have a mutually supporting position by you know, you have to hold the bridge or else you're going to lose. So if you're going to capture the bridge, you're going to have units here. They can shoot over here and support. And then vice versa, if you burn this and you have trouble, you have trouble at the bridge, you can quickly shift forces over here. Compared to this, is like you're kind of all alone. It's really hard to support a push over here, but you're not going to expect it, so could be a surprise. And we'll just we're going to see how that. Yeah, and they're too cool to say good luck, and they don't believe in good luck. And here we go. We're going to see if this push actually works. And another thing, look at this loadout with a repair tank. I don't know about the repair tank. Like 2 repair tanks out on this, and like I wonder what the opposing team is going to do. And we're going to see what the meta strat is for 5v5s on Farmland. Yeah, here we go. 1 heavy air, 2 heavy airs, and that's it. The double heavy air rush comes in and wipes out a full support player. And yeah, that's no, without medium air, it's just devastating. And so they get wiped out completely. They don't even get a cap of this back point. Just getting murdered brutally. And because he went triple heavies, again, full English, I think I know who that is, but I can't quite remember. Like, Breakfast was a famous clan, especially in the later days. At least a famous Smurf clan. Yeah, like, I would have gotten some lights to prevent the initial cap, because that's a lot of TA that they just generated. And, poor Pineapple he's going to not have a good time here. AMP flares his scout, and, double heavy air is just devastating. They do manage to capture the airbase, but that's really not going to cut it. And another repair tank. So that's 2 repair tanks. Like, what are you repairing here, man? Like, you need medium anti-air. A lot of medium anti-air to cover your AA. Like 3 or 4 heavy AAs is probably not enough. Like, watch this. First AA down. Second AA down. Dodge the air-to-air. That's Bacon's air-to-air. Bacon is the air player. Okay. Yeah, and like 1 heavy tank and 1 AA, not enough to hold this. This is again where an infantry player probably would have been better. Like an infantry support spawn, supported by air. You get the infant here, much better. And they give up. They give up on the push. It has failed. Enemy has the bridge, which is like really bad, and they haven't even captured this yet. Like, oh my god. They're finally going to get there. But this team has built up a lot of, like, the opposing Spearhead team has built up a lot of TA. Full English is doing drops. Like, these drops are pretty suicidal. I think in this day and age, we would be a little more careful with the drops. And also just an interesting scout loadout from Bacon. The triple scouts. Very interesting. And here comes Mary's mediums, and this is going to be important. The medium switch is totally necessary, and again, this is why you want defensive drops in your spawn first, and we'll see how long these drops actually survive. Drops are so vulnerable to enemy air if you drop them in the enemy side. Another air-to-air. Kind of futile. Oh man, and a brutal air-to-air from AMP. Look, did you see that? It kills 3 choppers. But already, like, the trades are going to be bad. They're going to start getting bad for their heavy air when they're going up against a medium air. Like, look at this. Loses a ranked up chopper. So it's going to start to be telling. And yeah, so they napalm. Okay, yeah. See, I'd recommend not napalming the offensive drops from the enemy team, like, just tell your air players to bang on them. You know, use their scouts. And look at this, just constant pressure from Spearhead. Like, they're really getting aggressive with it. They do scrambled eggs gets a nice cap. This really, that should have been defended. But it's quickly decapped. And they managed to clean up the drops, I think. And yeah, just notice the shambles that the breakfast team is in at this point. Like, they have no repairs. They're getting pressured on their back point. They can't hold a bridge. Their only hope is that they have a better matchup now. So it's like double armor, double air, one support, and I guess another freaking air-to-air. Jeez. On top of a heavy airstrike? Is he going to get him? Oh my god. Well, he gets one beat-up chopper. That's kind of good. It denies them a repair score. And so yeah, the team setups and like the kind of play style of this reminds me of pubs quite a bit, just because like that's when you get out of the ESL and you just get lots of air and lots of armor. But I would say that this team has a better, like the breakfast team has a better combination now with the mediums. Like they're ranking up now. And it's going to be a lot harder for their air to run riot. And so the question is, like, when do you switch? And when do you switch off your double heavy air? And my response is always, like, as soon as possible. As soon as you see the enemy has mediums, delete your choppers. Or, like, suicide your heavies and somebody switch to mediums. Because, like, look at this. He can't even poke anymore. He's just getting a face full of missiles every time. And these also provide line of sight, you know.
Our AA missiles are ready to be fired.
Your new units are on the way.
Yeah, let's see if Full English can get the cap again. Here comes...
Unit killed.
See, okay, the mediums were distracted.
We have a smoke active.
And this is what the heavies can do. They still managed to get... Oh, he sneaks a cap from under Airborne's nose. Oh, man. And Airborne just gets destroyed by their heavy air. Ouch. And more napalm. See, like, if you had an infantry player, that's 16 points in napalm. If you had an infantry player, you could have dropped 3 drops and cleared those woods and gotten line of sight. You know, that's a much better ROI. And also, like, you're burning your own cover at this point. Like, why not use that cover for yourself? And I don't even think there was drops in there. But yeah, look at this. The first ranked up chopper. Terrifying. And Scrambled Eggs is starting to do more drops on the other side. And this is important. Like, you need these drops to provide line of sight. And look at this. They haven't even forwarded this up yet. So that's an opportunity. Like, this is a weakly defended point in reality. Unfortunately, the drops get killed. And another cap. And look at this. Have they switched? Yeah, so they've got... So they're double armor. Yeah, they're still double armor, double air. Really lamentable armor play, I'm going to say, from the Spearhead team to allow so many free caps. And again, if they had a medium air player... like Bacon couldn't have been so aggressive killing these heavies, and they would have been able to defend this point from getting capped a lot easier. And look at it, I think he just dodged an air-to-air there. And yeah, look at this. This is a great place for an airborne. Also, this point and this point, like there are a lot of airbornes out here, so they've been feeding the armor player, and well, USSR gets a cap, pretty dirty cap. And these are so important to have. Like, you need to have these. And if the enemy team has inf in these woods, you got to deal with them. Like, we didn't really see a lot of paras other than offensive paras out of the USA team. And look at this again. Like, uncontested air. Another solo cap from armor. Was that? Yeah, solo cap. And look, is he going to do a decap? Yeah, I dare you, Airborne. Do a decap. Ooh, that's close. And here we go. They've been losing, and now they need to get back into it. How are they going to do that? They're going to do drops. And finally, they're going to do drops on the right side. Like, this is the easy side to attack. And they get the decap, and this is like their first positive tick in the entire game. I notice the double air manages to wipe out the support, but can't really can't sit there and just kill all the tanks. Like, it just has to go in and out, and it's just suboptimal for the air player now. This is a really aggressive. He gets the scout though. That's nice. And no jeep killing again. I don't know. I would be killing those jeeps ASAP. Like, those are a lot of ranked up jeeps, and they get their own jeeps down like really late in the game. But Pineapple is going to be able to start building up some score again. And yeah, just the air domination of the breakfast team allows another cap. And they don't even need support really to help. Like, it would have been better to have some more light tanks. Like, look, there's like Majestics. If he was here, he'd be yelling at them to get light tanks because you are going to lose those heavies. But yeah, drops everywhere. They decap this now and drops over here. And continuous drops. So scramble, like, you've got 2 armor players doing paradrops continuously. And like, where's the paradrops from the Spearhead team? Really strange. There's just like a lack of those drops. Like, you should have this defensively dropped. Like, shit, I think our like pub games have a better drop management than this like tournament game from 10 years ago. But I think it just shows. Although, like, this is great drops. Like the breakfast team sure knows how to drop. And look at this, like, very frustrating experience for the air players. Like, they can't even kill one tank, and he loses his whole chopper set basically. And again, here's napalm being used when really the counter should be extra paras, and just relentless drops now. And this is another interesting thing. Like, they're not spawning units. Like, all their spawn units are focused on the center. Like, they've got 5 heavies in the center. Nothing is going to the sides. It's all just drops. And finally, after like 10 minutes, AMP switches. And it's strange, like, I don't know why AMP isn't playing armor. Like, he really is a better armor player. And finally, there's some counter drops, but it's kind of like too late. But he's going mediums. But look at these mediums, they're all ranked up. He's got 4 ranked up. As a captain, ooh. Like, it's too late at this point. And that's the first TD. It's so easy to come back, especially from the USSR side, because the two flanking positions are really actually hard to defend in the small games. Like, you know, they're far apart, so it's hard to react to pressure, especially when there's drops. Like, you have to change your spawns, or you have to drive really far from the middle. And if you don't have air supremacy, then your quick reaction force, which is supposed to be the heavy air, is just not going to have any luck. Like, you don't even need to get units like AA, because typically what you do is you tuck some AA over here, but they don't even need that. And this is a dubious nuke. Like, maybe it's just a bad manner nuke. Like, all it's going to do is kill some jeeps. But look at this. AMP flies right into it. Oh, that's frustrating. That's very frustrating. And they, you know, I guess if you're dropping so much that you're like literally waiting on the cooldown, and you're still caking it in TA, you might as well just drop a nuke, I guess, and you get lucky and kill their whole air player. But look, their drops can't do anything. Tanks are overextended, unprotected. Not enough AA to help out, and the anti-air got wipes, and is not going to win against this terrifying stack of ranked up mediums. So it's not looking good for Spearhead, and I think this is a good lesson in both non-ESL play. It's a good lesson in what is the meta strategy, like double air with mediums, and how throw in some double armor and it's pretty unstoppable. And this is kind of why we have ESL rules, because this is like the most optimal strat, I would say. Depending on the map, like either double armor or armor and inf with double air. This is just painful. Like AMP is just getting outplayed. And Bacon's also had a great game. Like look at all these ranked up choppers, and he's just rocking with the double scouts again, which is kind of questionable. Although when you're up against medium air, you kind of want to. But there's just so many drops here. Like 2 armor players worth of drops. And they're going in again on here. Like again, like this is why, like I think if they had not nuked, they could have pumped this even more with drops. But again, infantry actually works very well defending against these shenanigans. Like a sniper in here and a sniper in here or in here, if they didn't burn these woods, would help deal with these drops. A couple of shitheads would keep the medium air away. And some ATs would help clear out these. And the inf player can kind of stretch on both sides. Inf player can afford more drops to do counter defensive drops. Like these guys wouldn't even survive to cap because they would be getting hit by a direct arty. But they didn't go armor, or they didn't go inf, so they reap what they sowed. And yeah, we'll take a look at the scores. Yeah, dominant armor. DJ, another nuke. Like that's just so many nukes. Jeez, they generated a lot of TA. You actually get a lot of TA from going mediums, and AMP gets hit by again. Oh, that's a dirty one. Very painful. And here we go. Some more drops directly on the points. Again, these medium tanks, questionable, and any kind of tanks aren't going to survive that air. And that's a quick rage quit. I think Strife did not enjoy that one. There's some GGs all around. But that's an example of a very competitive game, an interesting one without ESL rules. Like you rarely see games played at this level, not in the ESL. But yeah, thanks again to Elian for sending it my way. He also sent me another one of another competitive match. And again, if you guys have competitive match replays, send them my way, and I'd love to see them. These are much more interesting than some of the pubs we play. But honestly, the pub play recently in the contemporary scene is equivalent to this, I would say. Like a lot of players can play very well these days. So yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, I do want to check what is the date on that replay. 2008. Yeah, very early. That's like, yeah, 2008. What an old game. Very interesting though. So yeah, that's it. Thanks guys. Later.